let off some steam.
Welcome to episode 13 of Let Off Some Steam. This week I'm playing a kind of new game, and I totally haven't done this because it's very popular right now, and I'm trying to sell out. Definitely not doing that at all. This is Night in the Woods, released in 2017, and really not sure what else to say. So we start off in a train station, and there's this weird repairman guy. Talk to him, he's a bit weird, and then we have to run through the forest and to end up at home, where we meet the parents, and it gets a bit, I don't know, weird. I then find out the main character has friends. We hang out and then band practice. Excuse me while I stick this knitting needle into my ear. This game continues as it starts. For the next couple of hours, I just walk around, living the boring life of a millennial. My blood is just racing right now. You know what, I'm surprised I have anything to say about the gameplay at all, because there's barely anything I can do in Night in the Woods. Here are the controls for the main game. A button, D button, C button, and spacebar. Now, you think to yourself, why are you complaining? The only buttons used in Papers, Please is the mouse button. And yeah, you know what, that is a valid point. However, at least in Papers, Please, there is something to do with that one button. There's thinking involved. I have to figure stuff out. I have to compare information. There is stuff that makes me use my brain. A Night in the Woods, however, all I do is walk about, talk to people, and sleep. There is no kind of interesting interaction that keeps me occupied and engaged. The time when gameplay can be interesting is when your game allows you to do something that is actually fun and not live out the daily life of a millennial fuck-up. In the later stages of the game, it gets pretty interesting, but still not gameplay-wise. Sure, you have a few platforming sections every now and then, but it's still nothing exciting. It's not Mario, you know? That was just ad-lib. That was terrible ad-lib. Games can be complicated and fun. Games can be simple and still fun, but when a game is both simple and boring, it goes in the trash. At first, the art style of this game had the word cute pop into my head. Nice, big eyes, a head bigger than the body, the usual design standard for cute characters, like Japanese chibi or whatever franchise DreamWorks is going to take behind a shed and shoot. It didn't take long for me to be sick of what I was staring at for hours at a time. The animations are all limited and stiff, the colours get really bland, and staring at them for too long makes a shotgun pointer that you seem rather attractive. If you go for an art style with a lot of solid colours, what helps is a lot of bright, solid colours with good contrast and clear outlines. What we get in Night in the Woods, however, is washed out, drab colours that are far too dark most of the time, and it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Clearly, whoever made this game never learned anything about art and design. I'll admit the character design is adorable, but if you don't go for a good colour palette, it's just going to be forgettable, and you know what, I think within the next 3 episodes, I don't think I'll think about this game again. Also, there were no voices in the game. I ended up getting bored enough to start making them myself.
Well, this is great. It's 10:45, it's closed. Not a lot of folks getting off the last bus to Possum Springs these days. Just you.
Are you not the janitor?
What do you do? I fix this door.
The world is pretty depressing. It's a small town in America that used to be the old hustle and bustle with mines and factories. It's really relevant to the modern day, with jobs being shipped off to other countries and leaves the small town pretty much miserable, penniless and jobless. It's relevant to any Western country really. It's hard for people to get proper skilled trade jobs nowadays in industries simply because that industry is no longer there. For example, where I live, we used to have slate mine and factories, and now the only industry that's left in Britain is service, hotels, retail, everything that makes humans utterly miserable. In terms of the 2010s, this game is incredibly true to life, so I have to respect its accuracy to how things get depicted by May's father working in the deli section at a supermarket, having worked as a miner and made glass when the jobs were there. As boring as this game gets, it has to be said, it gets the modern day in the West very accurately, kind of like King of the Hill. Oh wait, Super Bunny Hop already said that. So the story is about a disconnected 20-year-old who came home after being in a higher education, and her struggle to try and adapt back home and be comfortable again after having suffered some issues with anxiety and depression. By the way, I'm going to go into spoiler territory in here and probably be more serious than I usually am, so be prepared. The story was really slow for nearly 4 hours. It was hard to play, and honestly, I almost skipped this game to do the other episode, but then of course, something interesting happened. A kidnapping and hints at murder where the main character sees a ghost of sorts. The main character goes investigating and finds a cult of people who believe a man lives in the mines who will protect the town and keep it safe. Cave them in, May, the main character, gets out, admits to her friends her problems, and yada yada, story done. Whatever. Now, I was going to go on this whole spiel about how Battlefield 1 made a better job in writing a more touching and engaging story about people, well, boys really my age, but then this game did something to me. To make a summary of the story section, the first half was incredibly boring, like I was at a crippled snail's pace, and then later on, things got very interesting. I'll say more about what it did to me in the final thoughts. Alright, I was originally planning on doing this whole spiel on Battlefield 1, and how it did a better job and everything, but I'm not going to do that. As touching as it would have been, instead, after about 5 hours of playing, what May spoke about, what her problems were and part of what she had been through, it hit me. I had anger issues when I grew up. I was a bit of an odd kid and I wasn't any good at parties. I went to higher education, I dropped out, came back feeling like a failure and a disappointment. I had troubles socialising when I was there. I had a lot of trouble sleeping and I could rarely leave my room in the halls. I'm not like May. I'm not as childish, nowhere near as selfish, far better at social interactions than she will ever be, and also I'm not a petty fucking thief. However, I know what she feels, and the game just spoke to me, like the developers going, hey man, it's okay. I know what you've been through. To add to that, to the players who actually played this game, I ended up being close to B. I know Greg's adorable and Angus as well. Angus. But I felt sorry for B. She needed that friend, that release. The game could have been way better. The art style could have had a bit more care and thought instead of blandness, and the controls... well, you know what I think of the controls. I didn't want to bring him up again, but Super Bunny Hop is correct. He put it perfectly. It's mundane the majority of the time. There is the perfect word. Mundane. It's like a game about a week in my life, and I don't want to play a game about my life, because it's boring. I'm a bassist in a band, I'm a fuck up in the 20s, and nobody likes me. So in summary, I don't want to play this game again. I'll probably forget about it in a few episodes, and frankly, the only thing that will make me feel tied to this game is that me and the main character had the same kind of experience at one point. But I grew past that. I have a job. I can actually play the songs my band plays. Kind of. And frankly, I think I'm better with my friends than May will ever be. When I was 20, I might have found this game a little bit more of a revelation at that time. I was going through the same feelings as May was, but it's gone now. The misery is gone. I have a job. I'm doing things I like. I'm no longer in that hole. I give it a not relevant to me, so it's a pile of shit out of 7. Oh, and for those who are going to point it out, Demon Tower isn't fun. Shut up. Okay, thank you for watching this episode. It was a little hard to record, and go figure it's episode 13, right? Just so you guys know again, I have a Discord server and an Instagram. Details about them are in the description, so if you'd like to check it out, please take a look. And if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, remember the subscribe button exists, and so does the like button. Thanks again for watching, so until next time, this was Clover.